Hello, my friend.
How's it going?
Always moving, always causing trouble in one way or another.
Yep, you're good at that.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Always shaking things up and doing things a little bit differently to see what works. And I miss hanging out with you, though.
I know. I
Right.
know. It's funny. So Aleph and I go up to my cabin in the summers and we do these mountain masterminds and stuff like that. And back in our backyard behind our creek, we're building out like a gazebo and all of this stuff. And so I'm just like,
Oh,
oh, it'll be really easy to just say, come over to the gazebo. Okay, now let's go mountains. So it's kind of making me a little bit antsy for summer, but I'm not quite ready for the heat yet.
yeah, I know. I hear you. I
Yeah.
hear you. So tell me all your secret stuff. You're like this guru as far as financial. You're kind of like me with the whole ADD with lots of fingers and lots of different pies, but you do it a little bit better than I do because you have these things automated. I haven't actually figured out how to do that yet. So, that's why I figured, we should have Heidi on here to tell us all her magical little things on keeping so many plates spinning and looking effortlessly at the same time.
Well, thank you. One of the things that I was thinking about in, what I could share with you is really kind of an overview of the 5-4-3-2-1 system that I teach. Because a lot of the people that I work with are coaches, mentors, like they're service providers, they might be energy healers, things like that. And so when I work with them, what I see is how much money they're leaving on the table because they don't have their system set up, right? It's really just oh my gosh, instead of texting back and forth with the client, they could just make this appointment here. And, it's kind of like a lot of the people that I work with it's not that they're completely naive to systems. It's just their systems aren't really set up and working together. And
their brain doesn't work in systems.
No, it doesn't. It's like, oh, I'll have this tool and this tool and this tool. And it's just like, if you integrated it all, it might be a little bit more beneficial for you. So what I teach people is, first, if you're setting up like an online business, if you've been in business for a while, or if you're starting completely from scratch, there are really 5 tools that I recommend to people. Number one, obviously, your website. And I was kind of thinking about it the other night. I was thinking, if I were to do it all over again, if I were to start from scratch, this is the order that I would do it, right? Okay. So that's what I'm really teaching is, first of all, the website.
Right.
And within the website, I have like really specific things. People think that websites need to be really complicated, and they've actually done studies of websites where they've removed like half of the content, and they actually do better in business because they're not cluttering up their website with a whole bunch of garbage that is so distracting and that nobody reads through anyway. Like it almost becomes too much for them.
Right. It's overwhelming.
It really is. It really gets overwhelming. And so within websites, I teach like 5 specific things to have on your website to start, right? It's like, yeah, you can add blog posts and SEO and blah, 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 blah. And that's all fine and good. But, realistically, most of the startup entrepreneurs I know don't need to be worrying about that yet. That's more of the scale part. This is more of the startup, right? So really the websites, I definitely recommend having a membership site where you can host your memberships, your group classes, your, any sort of training. You can have, your recordings there and stuff like that. So I think that's really important.
Can we put a pin in that and come back to that after?
Sure.
Okay, put a pin in that. Okay, keep going.
Number 3 is always, always, always an email autoresponder. Like building your list. We've seen so many changes to social media. I mean, my word, it's like crazy, right? With all of the different like platforms being shut down or people being shut down or things that it's all crazy. And it's because we don't own that platform. Like I can say that I have 4,000 friends on Facebook, but that doesn't mean if my Facebook account got shut down or one of their accounts got shut down, that I'd still be able to communicate with them, right? Unless I have another way to communicate. So building that email list is really important. So having a way to communicate with an email autoresponder. Number 4 is obviously appointment scheduler. I was working with a client who, she said, yeah, I just text back and forth with my clients until we figure out a time. And I was like, you are wasting so much time doing that. Like, what are you doing? And so we said, and she had been doing it for 20 years in her business. She just had never taken the time. And I set it up for her, and she was like, oh my gosh, I like the amount of time that I save not having to do this is phenomenal, you know? And then a way to communicate like Zoom, right? Like having some sort of video chat. I prefer video chat because I think that you can read body language. You feel like you're actually talking to the person versus having a session over the phone where it just seems really impersonal, right?
Very true. I'd much prefer a face-to-face, even if it's virtual, than a telephone. Absolutely. I'd almost prefer a text over a telephone call. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a different entity.
Well, and you know what? I mean, when I'm talking on the phone, this is what I'm doing. I'm like, where's my phone? We're so used to having this stuff in our hands that we're like, oh, shoot. So I can't multitask. If I'm talking on the phone, I can't multitask. I can't answer a text, right? Like, but if it's like an emergency or something like that, anyway. So some way to communicate and to be able to record those sessions. If you're doing energy healing sessions or business consulting or whatever it is that you're doing, having a way to record that to provide that as a service for your clients. So that's my 5, right? In the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 system. Okay. So let's go back to the membership site.
So let's talk membership. So it you know, I mean, there's a lot of different membership sites, but a membership site is only as good as people stepping into the membership. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, how do you create value so that people will be like, I want to be part of that membership? You know, so I think it's, you know, because I mean, I've tried membership. I probably did not have the right formula for value for, you know, Divorcee Cafe and stuff like that back years ago. And now we're in a whole new environment where people are online and wanting to do things. So a lot of stuff that didn't work a couple years ago might work now. But like, how do you get people to actually want to be part of your membership? You know, people are like, well, you can't give away everything. Well, no, you can't. But then where's that fine line between the balance of giving things away and enticing them onto that membership? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'll tell you my big secret. Okay. The free stuff that I do is all about the what. So it's what to do, right?
Okay.
And the membership side and the paid side is how to do it, right?
Okay.
So you may have, you know, you may be saying, hey, this is what I would do if I were building a website, but this is how to do it in the, you know, by actually logging in and building the website, right? And so, you know, in that interim, somebody can say, oh, I want to learn how to do that from you. Or I want to learn how to do that from someone else. And that's fine because you're giving the value in the what. So when I'm talking to people and saying, here's what I would recommend. Now, do you want to do that on your own or do you want support in my group? And that's where you invest, right? So it really becomes about that and that differential between the what to do and how to do it.
Okay. So would you have almost like not like a teaser, but like if people land on your site and, you know, what would you have as far as an engaging page for your membership? Do you know what I mean? They don't know you, so they don't know what to ask you. Do you know what I mean? So there's
Sometimes they know me. Sometimes I'm sending them there. Sometimes they know me because I'm sending them there. Just go to my website. I think of my website because I'm not working in volume, right? So I'm not like trying to be this big influencer that gets out to the masses. I'm trying to help people really go deep in building their online business. And so, so I may have like 300 people that are in my groups that I'm working with at all times to basically say, I want to find the 20 that I can really help this year. Right. And so it's, are you ready? Right. Are you ready? Are you ready? And so in terms of getting them like engaged in my platform, that's a whole huge training, right? Of, okay, do this, then this, then this, then this, and make sure this is set up and all of that. And that's what I do in my tech tribe. But the idea behind it is that, especially with the membership site that I use, which is called Member Vault, is it really brings people into your ecosystem, right? Like this is what, it's not just creating content for it, but it's also like, for example, the way the Tech Tribe is run, I have 4 different courses that are website, membership site, email autoresponder, appointment scheduler that literally is the how to set all of that up.
Right.
But then every single week we're doing strategy calls where I'm doing upfront training, and then we strategize what they're working on that week in their business. I record those training calls and I put them in my membership site, right? So it's they can go back, and I'm taking notes and I'm typing up what they say. They can go back and review that section of the Tech Tribe video because I'm writing notes in order. So then I'm like, hey, you can go in order of what I'm writing the notes so you can find what you were supposed to be working on. So I use it as it's not just a standalone, go sell something. I use it as a really flexible tool for me to be able to help as many people as possible. And on my website, I actually have an opt-in that is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm calling it the 6-session startup, right? So it includes the what,
right,
the deeper what overview for all of these different areas: websites, membership sites, create an online course, things like that. So, yeah.
So, you know me, and I'm always spinning in a million directions. Like, for me to sit there and I'm thinking, like, I know I've been on your back on your member vault, and I've looked at all of your stuff, and I've done this, and I'm just like, oh my God, I got, like, that just seems so overwhelming. Like, I have the information, like, it's here. You know what I mean? The information is here. And I know, like, all the other people are like, the information is here. And, like, it's the how, but it, like, to get it to come out where you're just like, and I'm really just going to spend the time and do that, because it sounds like a lot. I know it's not really a lot.
It's not.
But, like, it feels intimidating to me.
Well, that's really why I created the Tech Tribe, so that I could be that support for people, because I mean, just to hire me to do it is expensive, because that's a really huge amount of work, but also, like, me being side by side with you.
Right.
The way that I run it is in the morning, I have like 30 minutes of training, and I'm training on whatever topic we're really kind of focusing on. So right now we're building out sales pages and sales page copy, and we're going deep into each section of that. So I do a 30-minute training on that. Then we go into strategy, so everybody gets an opportunity to say, this is what I'm working on, this is where I need help. That's the morning session. In the afternoon session, it's co-working. So I'm right there, you're working on your stuff. We do these power sessions, and then you come back and say, okay, I'm struggling with this. We fix it, we move on, right? So it's really, I'm there to help you get over that step.
I need to step into your Tech Tribe at some point.
We'll
need
have
to
that
add
conversation.
that to my list of stuffs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How would you apply some of these techniques and tips and stuff to someone who have more of a product-based business rather than a service-based business? Can there be applicable the same kind of thing? Because you're using a lot of the member vault thing and membership stuff. Is there a way to use some of these tools in a product-based business?
Sure. I mean, especially the website and the email autoresponder.
Right.
So yeah, when it's product based, most of the people that I help are more on the coaching services side, right? But I do have one client, and she's building out a Shopify store and selling physical product. That's where it's really interesting, because you can still use, obviously, some of the tools, but the strategy part becomes really beneficial. So, like, I have a client that she's selling t-shirts, and we talked to her about the $2 taco, right? Which is the add-on. So what can you add on that isn't size or gender? That's like, cards or keychains or things like that, right? Those bump offers. But I like the $2 taco better because I like
tacos.
And so we've been talking to her about that. So basically, it combines, you're getting the tech support, you're getting the strategy, and you're getting the mastermind, because everybody else is on the call at the same time. So we're giving each other ideas. So if I don't necessarily see the solution, somebody else on the call might, right? So I'm just creating that service for people to be. And what's funny is that the tech tribe's been going for a year, and many people in the tech tribe have gotten their tech built out, but now there's the next level and they want to scale. So they don't want to leave the tech tribe because it's their, nope, this is my incubator. This is where everything that I'm building out, I get my ideas and I know where to go for support, and I get the help that I need. And then I'm able to keep going in my business. And so it's really become kind of like our mountain masterminds.
Yeah.
Just add in technology.
That's what I was actually just about to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, keep people accountable, kind of like you keeping me accountable, you know, when we go there, you know, be like, so 3 years ago you said this.
Yeah,
let's pull those horses back, you know.
There is, you know, I mean, it's funny that you bring that up because there is value in that. Tremendous value, because I can look back to a year ago with some of these people and they started and I'm like, well, remember when you were doing that, whatever happened with that, right? So it's that mastermind strategy in showing the progression of look how far you've come. I kind of joke, one woman that joined the tribe was super tech challenged, just really, really tech challenged. And then now she's like helping other people build out their member vaults, you know, like their membership sites and stuff. And she's just like, I thought this was so much harder. And I'm like, it's not. But I will tell you, once you know how to do this, and this is what I tell entrepreneurs all the time, is that I'm like, if you don't know how to use your technology, how do you come up with new ideas and scale? You have to know what tools you're using. It's like if I said, well, I've got this hammer here. That's great. I don't know how to use it, you know? I mean, so if you know how to use it, then immediately, as soon as those cool ideas come into your head, you're just plugging them right into what you've already got, and you know where they go and how they work because we've discussed all of that, you know?
Right. And then it's all this synchronous movement where now you're getting your drips and coming in, you know, and having multiple member things at the same time.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like it's an ongoing challenge. I mean, I've been working on my technology for 10 years. This isn't, you know, this isn't like I'm just going to throw something up there and all of a sudden it's going to work. Technology is really something that you integrate in with what you're doing, but it becomes a part of your business that helps you to grow. There's nothing to fear though. We don't have to do any coding, you know, like this is
they've made everything so user friendly these days that, you know, it took me months to start doing this StreamYard live streams thing, you know, because I was nervous about it, you know, and now I'm freaking on it all goddamn time.
Right. It's all the time.
You know, and I think that, and, you know, it's okay to change how you do things. Cause I mean, we met each other, what, 6 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And you were completely different world spinning. So you've completely changed universes as far as where you were to what you did and then where you're going, all and just kind of shifted the tech as you went and then tweaked it and said, okay, well, I have this, I do the finances, and then I'm going to actually turn it into this residual thing, you know, taking your strengths and applying it, but using tech as an asset rather than as something that is like I don't want to say a tool that people abuse, because people take the tech and they slam it down your throat. Do you know what I mean? Like buy. And it gets really overwhelming and oversaturating. But when you have learned to take it where it's this subtle, like, come on, let me take you for this little journey. Like we're going to sit, we're going to have tacos. We're going to get lots of guacamole and we're going to go on this train ride through the tech, and it's not as scary, but you've been able to kind of twist it in a way so it makes it easier to use, you know, but you know, it's been interesting to watch you go through and do all these different things, you know.
Probably a little scary, but you know,
never.
I really do. I consider it like that. Okay, there's different tools for different things in technology, you know, and so, but if you don't understand how to use that particular tool when your idea comes in, like, how do you, like, if I said, oh, well, I want to put that on my website, and it didn't work on the website, right? And somebody came in and they were like, you really need to put this in your membership site. Oh, light bulb, right? But we need other people, especially entrepreneurs are so, and this is not, I mean, just to clarify, this is not a coaching program. I'm not coaching you. It's strategy. It's saying, well, what about this? What about this? Well, what do you think of adding this? So I'm not like saying, hey, I'm just going to ask you the questions and you can understand technology, which is really coaching, right? Is that like, I'll ask you the questions and you come to your own conclusion. I'm like, no, do this, right? So it's way more about mentoring and strategy and saying, I am that person in your business that knows and understands your business well enough to say, don't do that. Or, oh my gosh, I had the best idea for your business, which often happens is that I'll be like, hey, I was thinking about your business. And because, ultimately over the year, I've hired every single one of my clients so that I could learn how their business worked. Mm-hmm. And some of them I'm like, you have not done anything I've told you to do on the front end. You get a C+, But I'm like, why are we missing this piece? Like, you didn't get this piece. So it really, it's kind of humorous, but at the same time, like, that's my thing, is that I want them to be successful. Mm-hmm. Truly. That is a big deal to me, because, and by successful, I'm not saying 6 figures in 6 months. I'm saying successful in growing and expanding and automating what they really want to do and what really lights them up, and the reason why they got into business, and then helping them to create those platforms to support that. That's what I love.
Yeah, because entrepreneurs, they need to feed off of other entrepreneurs. Do you know what I mean?
They do.
How the fireworks, it's the synergy and the bouncing and the sparks and, the conversation going like ping pong balls, I mean, that's how things happen, and that's how things get created, but then having the way to implement those things. And I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs, I don't want to say fail, but they're lacking.
No, they fail, but they fail because they don't know that it's available to them, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing that I see often, is that they don't know what they don't know about technology and what tools. So whatever shows up in their ad, like, oh, should I just use ClickFunnels? And I'm like, no. I mean, you shouldn't just use ClickFunnels. If there's a reason in your business that I can see where ClickFunnels would hugely benefit you, and you would be able to recoup those costs in your tech, great, let's talk about ClickFunnels, right? So I'm going to look at what is your return on investment on those tools as well. Because of course there's tech costs in this, right? But I want to keep it to a minimum and be like, okay, you're ready to scale. Sure, let's add on ClickFunnels, but you're making the money back to justify the cost.
ClickFunnels is not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap. So really, it's teaching you, like, I think that with the tools that I recommend, you're going to spend between $100 and $150, just depending on a month, depending on how many people you're serving, right? Mm-hmm. So it's scalable, where like ClickFunnels just alone is $100 a month, $97 a month. So I'm never going to say to somebody straight out, oh yeah, I think you should be spending $500 on tech, when they're not making even close to that in their business, or they're just starting up. I'm going to say, listen, in order to start up an online business, you're really going to need to invest this much per month, and then invest this much in a program. But what we're going to do is find your fastest path to money so that those tech costs are being covered. Mm-hmm. So.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So how do we find your tech tribe?
Well, you go to HeidiTotten.com.
There you go.
Yeah, I have my free opt-in and all of that. And I'm actually redoing that. I started redoing that last night because I'm doing the 6 startup sessions. And so I'm going to be doing the what webinars, what's in your website, map out your member vault or membership or something like that. I don't remember. It's all alliteration because I love, Talk Connection Tuesday, and I love doing that.
Dude, Tuesday Tasty Tidbits.
Yeah, it's all about the alliteration. So yeah. And then I actually have an opportunity. I have a few spots each week where somebody can try out the Tech Tribe. So they just sign up, try out the Tech Tribe for a week. See what they think, and and then they can join the Tech Tribe on the other side of that. So, and I make it pretty simple. I mean, this is something that is really designed to support, I mean, it's all women. It's really designed to support the female entrepreneur, coach, mentor, service provider who wants to expand more online and automate their systems.
I think automation is definitely the key, because if you can figure out a system where it can just do itself, it makes life so much easier.
Absolutely.
You know, and if it ends up with like more money in the banks, you can go get coffee. That's even better.
Yep. No, I've really enjoyed it. It's been interesting, like the results of it, because it's not, it's one of those things where I'm just like, listen, you get out what you put into it. I mean, I have people in the tech tribe that I just love coming every single week and getting ideas. Like as I listen to the strategy of other people, it's like the mountain masterminds, right? You get ideas because you're listening to other people. So take the mountain mastermind and add tech.
Right.
And there you go. Like that's
only we had, internet up at the mountain.
Right. But the whole reason why we go is so we can
to disconnect. I get it. I totally get it. And soon enough we'll be back up in the mountain.
Yep. Got to get snow off the mountain first. So
that is true. Well, thank you for coming on. Hang out there for a minute because I'm not done chatting with you. I'm not ready to let you go yet. Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
See you later, people. I'm going to go talk to my friend now. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.